right? Because he had pitched good enough that he would get claimed, and he had pitched well enough in different situations, whether it was low leverage, and we saw him in some pretty high leverage situations as well. Some did work out, some did not, obviously. But yeah, I think they made the right call in playing the options game. It's too bad because in that period of time where Fisher was not eligible to come back up, they ran into some really hairy situations. So yeah, they really needed him in that stretch there. So that he's back, yeah, I'm with you. Like if you can get meaningful innings out of, and I mean, Varland is a big part of this, right? Louis Varland, if he can find his form again, if you could get Varland and Fisher and one other guy, especially now that Jimmy Garcia is not going to be back this season, if they can handle the 7th and 8th innings, I think you feel okay about sometimes putting Dominguez in there in the 9th over Hoffman.
What did you make of the Barrios performance last night? Because at some point it feels like they're going to have to make a decision here with the lineup, who's going to be maybe the long arm in the bullpen. Lauer's there now, but doesn't look very comfortable there, so I don't know what happens with him. Do you think you have a different view on Barrios? Did last night change anything at all for you, good or bad?
Yeah, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned. There was the home run in there, 4 strikeouts. Like that's an all right line.
A good night.
Yeah, it's like I don't think you're going to find a lot of to get on him about.
Perfect amount of malaise to have no idea what to do with him going forward.
I was whelmed. I was whelmed, right?
Yeah, correct.
That's a great way to put it.
And I don't think that's because Barrios has struggled certainly this season, but I don't think it necessarily moves the needle for me one way or another. But at the same time, yeah, I think it's nice, especially where we're at right this second in the schedule. So you have this series finale against the Astros today. You have 3 beginning tomorrow against the Orioles, and your next day off isn't until the 22nd. Like you have 4 straight against the Rays, and then you have 3 straight against the Royals. So if Barrios can find some consistency.
Before he was feared on the field, Ronald Acuna Jr. was chasing wins on a different kind of field. For the Acuñas, El Béisbol was a story told in fastballs and late-night rematches. Every loading screen was a part of the strategy. Smash de botones. Smash de jonrones. That's how La Bestia was born.
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
Taco.
I'm going to guess it's an opposite field, upper deck, maybe something like a...
Yeah, home run to the opposite field. You got it.
This is a good one, a hack.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same as like the layman's term hack, like a bad chef?
You've guessed correctly.
Okay.
Someone's a hack, someone that's just mailing it in. Yeah. They're not putting their heart into it.
To keep them down. I was surprised the Blue Jays couldn't break through, maybe even like the 3rd time through the order a little more consistently. But yeah, I do think baseball is a sport where there's so much randomness baked into it that I'm not ultra worried about the offense, even though it has scuffled as of late. You did mention Dalton Varsho, Mike. I was interested to see if they're going to move him down in the order because he had struggled. And again, in like the short term, right? Like in the small term. And this is kind of a part of his game. He doesn't like the high fastball, the heat at the top of the zone. He does have some holes in the sense that he will hit some titanic, absolute bombs, some missiles into the seats, or he'll strike out a ton, right? So I think that's kind of like the part of the ebb and flow with the conversation about Dalton Varsho. But even if they are going to bump him down a bit, I admit I'm not like that worried about him.
So I don't know. We should have got a sounder for the station, an alert. Anthony Santander has picked up a bat and is now about to appear in a baseball game for a minor league affiliate. I don't know what the sounder would be, like the old Tim and Sid horns, but I'm struggling. Me and Jens kind of talked about this a little bit earlier show. I'm struggling to find the role. I really am. Because this team's prided itself on outfield defense all year long. And like George Springer has been his best he's ever been as a primary DH. So now you're going to take Nathan Lucas out of right field, or you're going to take, I don't know, I guess Schneider at a left, or I don't know what they're going to do potentially with a guy that's been out all year, who's not a great defender, who you don't know what you're going to get with at the plate. This just feels like more appearances for me than it actually is him getting into baseball games for the Jays.
Yeah, because I
don't see the role.
And I think, too, for me, it's not even also where he plays on the diamond, but also where he hits, right? Because at the same time, do you want to, like, I think if he was 100% healthy and back into the swing of things right away, I think the best spot, based on how the roster looks right this second, the order, I think the best spot for him would be to put him maybe batting 2 between Springer and Vladdy, right? Then if Bo were to come back healthy, you could go Springer, Santander, Vladdy, and Bo. And obviously, Bo is not healthy right now, is on the IL, so hopefully that when he comes back, he's fine. But I think that would be a lot to ask of hitting a guy number 2 right as soon as he comes off the IL, if he is also DHing. And Santander, I have been told a number of times by a number of different people that he is the kind of person who, to feel more in rhythm with playing, he likes to play the field, right? So, and again, for a guy who's had such a long layoff, they're almost certainly not going to play him in the field. You don't want to take Springer out of the order, so he's gonna have to play either right or left field, which, to your point, Sam, means someone's sitting. And yeah, it's tough to squeeze him in there.
And you're hurting your defense.
Yeah, right.
You just are. Like, you're giving me 2022 wild card game vibes all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to put Santander. And I honestly, and the other part of this too is, given that they had to pause this whole rehab activities for him, I do wonder, how much time does he really need at rehab? I know they said they wanted to get him into 5 games, but the minor league season ends a little bit before the major league season does. So if we're 17 games out from the end of the regular season, we're probably, 10, 11 games out from the end of the minor league season. So I'm not sure what that run-up looks like. I would love to see him back healthy and hitting bombs because, as we know in the playoffs, a single home run goes so much further than any other act other than like a guy going like 8 innings, right? Fewer games too, right? So all that matters so much more. And so you would obviously take it. But yeah, it does feel like the runway is getting shorter for Santander, like right this second.
If you had to take one Buffalo Bison to be healthy, to be ready to contribute to this team, you taking Santander or Treya Savage?
Oh, man.
Great question.
That is a great question.
Savage for me. 100%.
I think it's a Savage for me too, actually.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of questions there, as we mentioned, with Barrios, with Scherzer's health, with everything going on in the bullpen. I know having another arm, but it's tricky because they haven't scored a lot lately. They need the help, and you got Bo out. So that's where I think I make that a bit of a tough call. While we mull that one over, one more, Sammy, then let you get back in here. Talk about the bench role of certain guys here. And Sam and I have really honed in on Jimenez lately. And honestly, IKF looks just as good lately. He's had a real resurgence since he's come back. David Schneider's had a great little season. What do you make of their bench use and the use of these kind of role players, especially now? You're going to need something from these guys while Bo is out.
Yeah, you need more, certainly. And I guess we can kind of include, I know he's not really a bench guy, but I guess we can kind of include Ernie Clement in this conversation just because of where he, Jimenez, and IKF, they all kind of largely will play in the same stratosphere, I would say, in the infield. But yeah, I think, IKF certainly, he played so well for the Blue Jays last year and he's coming back to finish a deal he signed with the Blue Jays, right? So it's not like he's going to be costing you a ton of money that you didn't necessarily expect or prepare for. He's going to be a free agent at the end of this season, so I think you feel okay about his contributions weighed against the money he's making. And again, maybe at this point the money doesn't even really matter, given that he will be a free agent. But yeah, IKF coming through with that big moment the other night to tie the game, to send it to extras was phenomenal. He plays pretty good defense. I know it was a bit of a rough restart for him after he got claimed off of waivers, like in the very first game or the second game or whatever it was. Jimenez is tough, right, Mike? Because with Jimenez, it's tough to parse for me because he gives you platinum glove level defense, but more often than not, the offense has not been super consistent. And we have seen in the last 2 weeks, we saw John Schneider take Jimenez out of the lineup. So you're essentially getting his platinum glove off the field in order to get more offense recently. So, and again, I don't think he's doing it a lot. And obviously last night he came through with the RBI late in the game. So you're not going to see that happen all the time, obviously. But I am very curious to see what the usage looks like for them, because this is also a team, when we talk about Clement, when we also talk about, I know it's not the same position, but when we talk about the usage of guys like Ty France, for example, this is a team that, with your position players, they'll go like 11, 12, 13 players deep in almost every single game. So you are going to see most of these guys play in almost every single game.
Yeah, I was just to be a wall on all the group chats across Canada watching that Jays game that completely agreed with the decision to leave. Yeah. No, there's no one that disagreed with that decision, myself included, sitting in the seats, yelling about how the hell do you let him face the lefty here.
Were you and JD? Did you guys stand up last night, Sam? Like, hey, what are you doing, John? What are you doing?
I didn't stand up. I stood up a couple times.
Folks, that right there is Decoy, the luckiest dog in the world. His owner is Shohei Ohtani, a myth of a man. A human who can do all this with a baseball is every dog's dream. 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, drool, 250-foot dingers, woof. He gets called a good boy in 2 entire countries. And I get Greg. I just hope all that fame doesn't go to his head.
On the way home after our show yesterday, the amount of Astros jerseys in the city, people just walking up and getting ready to go to the game. I was surprised how many I saw. So good point there.
I just texted, if you guys quickly look at your phones, I just texted you the picture. So it's not a great radio medium, but I'd like to see your reactions to the hats. They're unbelievable.
You did not oversell that description.
Yeah,
they're pretty intense.
I thought you were describing like a baseball hat with like the World Series logo on it. No,
it's a literal World Series, the trophy on their heads, man. I walked into the place, I was like, what the hell is going on?
So if you're listening, it would be like hoisting the World Series trophy.
And like putting it on your head.
And then placing it on your head with lights.
Yeah. With lights.
That's so great.
To not even take them off to sit down and eat your food. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the one guy had a shirt on the back that's like, we didn't hear no bang, and it was like the garbage pail and a baseball bat with it. Like, they lean into it. But honestly, if I was a fan of the Astros, so would I. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. We cheated. Kiss the ring, baby. Who cares?
I wonder if they cheer for George Springer. They must, right? Like, they must always cheer for him.
Well, I mean, we don't have a ton of time left here, but that's the real ace in the hole when you're a Houston fan, right? Like, because you can boo and be like, oh, you're cheaters. It's like, buddy, the leadoff hitter for that team hits leadoff for your team. So there's not a whole lot you can say.
Yeah, when they're in town, like people in Toronto are like, mom's the word. We want to talk about cheating in baseball.
Everyone be
Settle down with that kind of stuff. You know, it's also true, guys. I want to get your take on this one, Show. The thing we've seen with Houston in the last 2 games, they just look like an absolutely professional team. You know what I mean? Like, they look like a team that's done it before. Pedigree, great little hits, timely hits. The pitcher gets hurt, no problem. They just really, they have that aura of a team that's been so successful in the last decade or decade plus.
No, it's true. I mean, even like a young guy like Jeremy Pena came up and hit important runs for them when they won most recently, right? So yeah, I gotta agree with you. Carlos Correa coming back home with Altuve and Alvarez, guys who've all done it before. So yeah, I'm with you. Here's hoping that Kevin Gausman can put a dent in that for them tonight.
Sammy, any last words? We got 30 seconds.
Please win.
It's a big one today. Well, and if there's anyone you want to trust,
they need a dub.
It's Kevin Gausman. Want to thank our guests, Adam Peddle, Mike Tracos, Eric Edholm, and of course, Show Ali. Want to thank our producer and technical director, Austin Mackey, for a job well done. And coming up next, as we mentioned, 3:07 first pitch. You could hear show get us started for Blue Jays and Astros, the rubber match. Tomorrow, Sammy and I will be back from 2 to 4. So a 2-hour show. This is a little more cardio than what we're used to, Sam, but we had an absolute blast. You've been listening to Sportsnet today on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
For a limited time, Subway Canada is ditching the inch. Get 5 6-inch classics for $5.99 each. Now available in centimeters. The difference? Absolutely nothing, yet measurably more Canadian. Enjoy Black Forest ham, turkey breast, Italian BMT, cold cut combo or tuna for $5.99 each in delicious 15.24 centimeter length. Let's get metric, Canada. Only at Subway. At participating restaurants, extras, taxes, and delivery additional. Expires November 2nd. Available while centimeters last.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. EyeSight driver assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging, and eating all at once? Standard. Parallel parking perfectly while someone watches? Uncommon. But in a Subaru? Standard-ish. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models. And get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Hot water gone cold? Switch to a new tankless water heater from Enercare. Save space, energy, and enjoy reliable hot water. With Enercare Advantage, you make one predictable monthly payment, no upfront costs or repair fees, free installation, and they'll take care of your existing water heater. For a limited time, get up to $1,500 on a prepaid credit card with a new tankless water heater rental. Details at enercare.ca. Terms and conditions apply.
Enercare. Experts at home. When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The Volksfest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models from just 0% for 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 Volksfest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until September 30th. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply. Volkswagen.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a...
Meet Aaron Judge. Aaron is the captain of the New York Yankees. What a great leader. He's won MVP 2 times. He's also the most dangerous man on the planet with a bat in his hands. Aaron signs every autograph and tattoos every baseball. Aaron foots the bill. They rob you blind. Aaron's a good guy, the best. Unless you're a picture.
What is it that kind of got you hooked
as a foodie, so to speak?
My dad was really into food when I was a kid. He traveled for work and he would go to places all over Europe and stuff. He was in sales and I feel like he would come home and try and cook the things he ate overseas. And so as a kid, I was exposed to a lot of like stuff that kids aren't usually exposed to. And so I credit my dad for that.
Get 20 times the points or 25 times the points with a PC financial card. Conditions in app.
CJCL Toronto. This
slams the ball to right field, way back, way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time
on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
One game to decide the series between the Blue Jays and the Astros as we return to a sunny Rogers Center for a Thursday matinee. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Show Ali is our host and producer. Derek Brandeo and Tom Young are our technical directors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Chatham and Wallaceburg. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986. So protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Christian Javier goes for the Houston Astros today, a talented pitcher only 5 starts removed from his return from Tommy John surgery. On the other side, Kevin Gausman has been as hot as anyone in the Blue Jays rotation. He counters Javier in this rubber match coming up next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Oh no, I can't be out of ink. Not now.
Mega Tank.
Why do I always do this to myself? What is that printer that comes with 30 times the ink?
Mega Tank.
Yes, it's a Canon Megaphone?
Mega Tank.
It's a Canon printer. It comes with like $2,000 worth of ink. Prints me over 7,700 color pages.
Mega Tank.
Mega what?
Listen to the voice in your head and get a Canon Megatank printer, so you don't have to think about ink for a long, long time. Canon Megatank printers, available at Staples, Best Buy, and Walmart.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs night.
Before he was feared on the field, Ronald Acuña Jr. was chasing wins on a different kind of field. For the Acuñas, el béisbol was a story told in fastballs and late-night rematches. Every loading screen was a part of the strategy. Smash de botones. Smash de jonrones. That's how La Bestia was born.
I'm going to throw out a restaurant kitchen term to you, and then hit me with a baseball one. I'll start first.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Oh, mise en place. That is, as the chef, you put all your different ingredients out, kind of before you start cooking, right?
You got it, man. Yeah. That's the most important one.
I hear this one a lot because of my name, can of corn.
Easy fly ball.
And you're just too stylish to have superstitions.
Zero. I can't do it. Too many collar cleats, too many gloves, too many wedding gloves, too many bats.
I do put on my right glove first, then the left, then the thumb guard, then I put on my leg guard, my elbow guard.
Anything you put on first?
Nah, not really.
Nothing?
Nah. I like to say I'm not superstitious, but a little stitious.
2 series straight going back to that Yankee series.
That's Gus Judge. His owner is Aaron Judge, captain of the Yankees. His dog park is Yankee Stadium. Ooh, I'd roll in that grass for days. Bet he gets to fetch those dingers. I'm sure Aaron chases him like that around the house. Aaron's also the nicest human ever. Just not to baseballs. My human, he eats shredded cheese by the handful. I hope Gus knows just how good he's got it.
I was in AAA, and right before the game, they said, no, you got to stop. You need to hurry up and go to Cincinnati. You're about to go play a game there. You got 45 minutes till the game starts. So I get in my car, and I start driving, and all I keep thinking about is, which jersey are they wearing that night? So when I get to the locker room, I see my jersey hung up, and love the white jerseys, just the stitching on it, the old school feel to it.
Are 11 behind the Blue Jays, 72 and 73. Orioles 15 back at 68 and 77. On the other side, the Astros maintain a 1-game lead over Seattle in the AL West. Houston is 79 and 67. With Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays warming up right now for the top of the first, we go to the starting lineups brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. Want more from your vehicle? Try Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline, fueling every drive with a fuel like no other. Leading off for the Blue Jays in DHing George Springer, Nathan Lucas in right hitting second. Batting third at first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Addison Barger hits cleanup and plays the hot corner. Shortstop hitting fifth, Ernie Clement. Batting sixth in center field, Dalton Varsho. Davis Schneider draws the first start of the series. He'll play left field and hit seventh. Tyler Heineman catching, hitting eighth. Andres Jimenez batting ninth, playing second. And Kevin Gausman warming up right now as the starter in this game. On the other side, Houston leads off Jeremy Pena, the shortstop. Yordan Alvarez, the DH, hits second. Third baseman Carlos Correa batting third. And cleaning up the second baseman, Jose Altuve. Jesus Sanchez hits fifth, plays right, batting sixth. Catcher Yainer Diaz batting seventh. The first baseman Christian Walker. Taylor Trammell gets a first start in the series. He'll play left field and bat eighth. And in center field, Mauricio Dubon batting ninth. Christian Javier getting the start for Houston. But we flip the attention back to Kevin Gausman in white pants and a royal blue jersey and cap. He walks up the hill for his 29th start, 9-10 on the year with a 3.63 ERA.
One way to try to get things going in the right direction is by getting another fantastic start from Kevin Gausman. He's coming off of one of his best, if not his best start of the entire season, going those 8 innings against New York just a few days ago, and the Blue Jays would love to have another one of those similar starts from him today. Just get things going in the right direction, especially given that the offense has struggled a little bit recently. To be able to have him out there on the hill and to be able to set the tone early is going to be big.
He stretches his arm out behind his head and now sets at the belt. Jeremy Pena up for Houston. Gausman kicks and deals, and the first pitch of the day is 96 on the outside corner for strike one. Time of the first pitch, 3:08 Eastern. Roof open, sunny day in downtown Toronto, 23 degrees at the time of first pitch. The kick in the 0-1. Taken for another strike, another fastball, bottom third of the zone, and it's 0-2.
That fastball is going to continue to be a big pitch for Kevin Gausman. Of course, him being mostly that two-pitch mix between the four-seamer and the splitter. Occasionally, we'll bring in that slider, but it's the location of that four-seamer that really sets up his other two pitches.
His two-strike offering to Pena. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Went back to the fastball again. Pena, a .299 hitter, 15 home runs. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a splitter, his first of the game, and there's 1 out.
And that's a great way to get things going, too, especially with all those four-seam fastballs well located at the bottom of the zone. Even the one that he ended up throwing for a ball didn't miss by much, below the strike zone. And then he throws out there his first splitter and gets Jeremy Pena way out in front on that off-speed.
1 out, and Yordan Alvarez up. Astros left-handed hitting DH. First pitch. Bottom of the zone with a splitter, strike 1. Home plate umpire is Jeremy Rehak in this game. At first base, Tom Hanahan. Second base up, the crew chief Chris Conroy, and Brendan Miller at third. Gausman bouncing the left foot. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Back to the splitter again. It's 0-2.
If you would have told me that going into Game 3 of this series, Yordan Alvarez would not have hit a home run yet and has not come around to score, I would have just assumed that the Blue Jays would have 2 wins on their scorecard, just to go back to a little bit how wild this series has been so far.
0-2 pitches low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You also wouldn't have guessed that Alvarez would be 5 for 9 through the first 2 games, but not have a run or an RBI. He's been great, but around him, either they haven't hit well or they just haven't hit when he's on base. 1-2 pitch. Just outside with a fastball, 2-2.
And you figure for a lot of these pitchers for the Blue Jays, the game plan coming into this series was do not let him leave the yard. Do not let him have the opportunity with runners on base to be able to hit a home run. And they've been able to do that. Limited him to a lot of singles, 1 double in there.
2-2 pitch hit high in the air, shallow left toward the foul line. Schneider ranging over into the shadows makes the catch, and there are 2 outs.
But just kind of the natural ebbs and flows of hitting throughout the season. We just have not seen the offense get going early in the game the past 2 games.
Yeah, pitching has not been the problem. Blue Jays have allowed 3 runs in each of the first 2 games to Houston. Fine enough total for them to pick up a win, but this guy has been a big problem. Carlos Correa with homers in each of the first 2 games. Steps up now with 2 outs and the bases empty, top of the first. Gausman kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Starts him off with a slider. First one of the start, it's 0-1.
It's a really good location for that pitch, too. If you want to miss with that slider, you want to make sure that it is diving down and away from those right-handed hitters. Correa did hit a slider for a home run off of Shane Bieber in Game 1 of this series.
0-1 fastball freezes Correa, called strike 2.
Common theme from what we saw from Kevin Gausman in that last start against the Yankees. A lot of 0-2, 1-2 counts with just his ability to dot the strike zone with all 3 of his pitches.
Very aggressive right-hander, bouncing his lead left foot. Comes still, kicks and deals. Fastball, got him looking, strike 3. Gausman punches out a pair in a 1-2-3 top of the first, and George Springer leads off against his old team next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center.
That's Gus Judge. His owner is Aaron Judge, captain of the Yankees. His dog park is Yankee Stadium. Ooh, I'd bowl in that grass for days. Bet he gets to fetch those dingers. I'm sure Aaron chases him like that around the house. Aaron's also the nicest human ever. Just not to baseballs. My human, he eats shredded cheese by the handful. I hope Gus knows just how good he's got it.
From Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Ernie Clement with his 4th extra base hit in the last 2 days.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
No score, Blue Jays and Astros. Welcome back to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Bottom of the first inning, Christian Javier on the hill for his 6th start of the year. And here's his pitch into the wind, and now deals to George Springer. Check swing, pitches high, ball 1. Javier 1-2 with a 4.43 ERA in 5 starts. 28-year-old from the Dominican Republic, coming off Tommy John surgery midway through last year. Facing the plate, he steps to his left, kicks and deals. High again, 2-0.
going to be a completely different look for the Blue Jays than what they saw yesterday from Jason Alexander with that heavy drop on that sinker. It's going to be moving in a completely different direction today from Christian Javier. That four-seam fastball has some really good rise at the top part of the zone.
2-0 pitch. Check swing tapper, barehand attempt by Javier, throws it to first, and Walker can't make the dig. Javier with a heck of a play off to the third base side of the mound, really did the hard part, and rare to see a multiple-time Gold Glover like Walker not come up with that dig. Springer will take it on what I believe will go as an infield hit.
Yeah, it looked like one of those balls off of the bat, just kind of a hesitant check swing by George Springer, and this one's hit so softly off of the bat that Javier is the only one close that's going to have a chance to make a play on this one, and it was a great play. He picks it up barehanded, throws it across to first base off balance in that one hop, that mid-hop over to Christian Walker. He wasn't able to pick it cleanly, so the Blue Jays have now a runner on board here in the bottom of the first.
Pitch to Nathan Lucas, high ball one. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Blue Jays, prior to that Springer awkward infield hit, 2 for 31 in the first 5 innings during this series. First 5 innings of each of the first 2 games. So now the 1-0 pitch called a strike, 1-1.
Not the hardest hit in the world, but you will absolutely take anything to get this offense going early.
Yeah, they were scored on first each of the previous 2 games in this series. One. Lucas slaps it left field, racing back. Trammell, it's over his head and onto the track. Springer to third, he'll get the wave. Relay throw to the plate. Not in time, he's safe with a head first dive. It's an RBI double, Nathan Lucas, and a 1-0 Blue Jay lead in the bottom of the first.
How about that for some early offense from the Blue Jays? 2 batters and already 1 run put up on the board by Toronto here. It's a really great swing by Nathan Lucas, getting this pitch again at the top part of the zone. We talked about it. That's where these batters are going to see a lot of those four-seam fastballs, and Nathan Lucas is ready for it. Great jump by George Springer off first base, too. He's got his eyes on that ball the entire time, so as soon as it hits off of the wall out in left field, he turns on the jets, motors around second base, motors around third, and dives safely into home.
Now the pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Hit to the right side on the ground, picked up Walker. He'll go to first as Lucas advances up to third. So in some ways a productive out. Vladdy slaps hands with first base coach Mark Budzinski and turns back to the dugout, 1 out.
Again, it's one of those swings too, and as Vladdy's running down the first baseline, he's clapping because he knows that that's going to advance Lucas over to third base. And also what I see too is a difference in the swing path. We saw a lot of ground ball outs, whether it was from George Springer, Alejandro Kirk, or even Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over the past 2 days. So for him to be able to stay inside that ball, I know it's still a ground ball, but it's a ground ball to the right side, to me, is improvement.
First pitch to Addison Barger, misses down and in, ball 1. 1-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the first, 1 out, Nathan Lucas on third. Infield in for the Astros and shifted to the first base side. 1-0 to Barger. Breaking ball, called strike, 1-1. Do want to mention, as this game is just about underway here in the bottom of the first, it is the anniversary of September 11th. We got to see some members of Toronto Fire Services throw out the first pitch of the game. Javier said, 1-1. Lifted high in the air, shallow right field. Shortstop Pena going out there. Long run in, and it drops in past Sanchez. In to score Lucas. Barger with a dive into second on the bloop of all bloops for a double. Well, that was one of the weirder plays you'll see. Infield in, outfield back. So a long run both ways. But it looked to me like Pena could have had it. Then Sanchez could have had it. Sanchez crashed in and almost dodged the ball at the last second.
It looked like a combination of everybody that was on the right side of the field had enough time to get underneath that fly ball with as long as it hung up in the air. Jose Altuve's going back. Even Jeremy Pena's going back out there in right field. Jesus Sanchez looked like he was the one that had the best read on it, and he was looking up at the ball, but he was also looking down at his teammates too to see if they were going to go after that fly ball. And at the last minute, that ball just drops in the middle of everybody and allows another run to come across, and heads up base running too by Addison Barger to have his eyes on that ball and be able to make it all the way over to second base.
Don't believe all the stats you read. That'll go as an RBI double for Addison Barger, his 29th double of the season.
Between the infield single by George Springer to get things going, and then now the RBI double by Barger, just continuing the theme of a little bit of weird things that we've seen so far this series.
Seriously, first pitch to Ernie Clement is high, ball one. There are no errors charged in this inning on Houston's defense, and yet if I'm Christian Javier, I'm thinking the pick should have been made on my throw to get Springer, and that catch should have been made. This should be a scoreless game going into the second.
I would say the pick is definitely a tougher play than that fly ball out to right field, but yes, I am with you.
1-0 pitch to Clement, down and away 2-0.
He did make an incredible play to even get that ball over to first base, because I thought off of the bat, too, that one was going to be one of those balls that nobody was going to be able to get to. So to be able to make it as close as he did, a lot of props to Javier out there on the mound.
His 2-0 to Clement. Popped up, back behind the plate, foul, and that's got enough on it to get over the netting out of play, 2-1. Even if that pick isn't made, maybe it should be 1-0 with 2 outs right now. Instead, still only 1 out in the inning, 2-0 Blue Jays, and Addison Barger's in scoring position. 28-year-old right-hander from this stretch, the 2-1. Breaking ball, missed high, 3 balls and 1 strike. Mix for Javier is 4-seamer, change, sweeper, knuckle curve, and sinker. That last breaking ball was a sweeper. His 3-1. Hit high, deep left field. Trammell turning back on the warning track, and he'll make the catch about 5 feet in front of the wall, and then really make a nice throw back into third to keep Barger at second base. 2 outs.
Another one of those balls off of the bat that I thought had a chance to make it out of here. He even hit that one 101 miles per hour off of the bat, just hung way up in the sky. Or I guess way inside of the dome with the open roof here today.
38-degree angle off the bat, just a little too high to get that one out if you're Ernie Clement, but well struck. And now time called behind the plate before Dalton Varsho sees the first pitch. Dropped Varsho down in the order a little bit. He was hitting cleanup last couple of days. Now he's down to 6th. Barger on second, who took over the cleanup spot today. And the pitch. Check swing, pitch in the dirt, and peel down to third. It's called a swing by Brennan Miller, so it's 0-1. Varsho is 0 for his last 13. You have to go back to a single to open up his series in the Bronx as the last time he came up with a base hit. 0-1. Hit well center field, moving back to Bond in front of the warning track. He'll camp under it, make the catch, and end the inning. It got a little bit scrappy, but the Blue Jays get 2 runs in the first on 3 hits, including doubles from Lucas and technically Addison Barger as well. 1 left on base, 2-0 Blue Jays after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet.
Shohei Ohtani doesn't make any sense. A hitter that pitches, a hand steals bases. No way. A living legend who's this humble? No way. Ohtani isn't a one-way player or a two-way player. He's a no-way player.
Right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude? My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
Okay, I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs, and then next day, I gotta eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me, and then when my mom is with me,
everything's good.
I save a lot of money.
Estamos lindo.
Move and be moved.
Hi, this is Jeff Hoffman, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays 2, Astros nothing. Top of the second inning in Toronto, and Jose Altuve leading off. Takes a first pitch strike, 0-1. Second inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Kevin Gausman kicks and deals. And the pitch hit foul, and just like that, Gausman ahead, 0-2. Right-hander was dominant in his first inning, punched out a pair and faced the minimum in the top of the first. Now in the top of the second is 0-2. Fouled right back again. Letter high fastball. Somehow, not only does Altuve go after it, but he actually gets a piece of it.
You and I were joking before the start of the game, too. Jose Altuve is so good at hitting pitches at the top part of the zone, and saying top part of the zone is doing that one an injustice, because that ball was practically at his helmet.
0-2 pitch inside. Check swing by Altuve. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
When you think that you've gotten the pitch high enough against Altuve, it's not high enough, because he can somehow get his barrel to those pitches way up and out of the zone.
5'6" second baseman faces a 1-2 and takes it low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Went to the splitter there to try to get him to chase.
I don't know about you, but I am a little bit surprised that Gausman did go to the fastball up. Now it worked. He got ahead in the count, 0-2 early in this one, but I thought maybe he might stick back with that four-seamer at the bottom part of the zone.
2-2 fouled away. Another splitter down in the zone. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It just because Altuve is so good at pitches up. But also, too, if you're going up against Gausman, you might be a little bit surprised if he does throw that fastball up, just because you're anticipating everything more being down to go along with that splitter.
2-2. Popped up, first base side foul. Vladdy over the chalk into foul territory to make a running catch. 1 out. Jays Care has given away over 200 prizes during their Super September jackpot. You could also win the grand prize, which currently is over $737,000 and is expected to hit well over the $2 million mark. Be part of the playoff push. Get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050, Ontario or Nova Scotia. Interesting here, a bit of a discussion between John Schneider and Jeremy Rehak. And now Rehak will discuss something with Chris Conroy, the crew chief. To be quite honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what would be going on here. Blue Jays just got an out on a pop-up. And now Conroy is going over to talk to Joe Espada, the Astros manager. Schneider again talking with Rehak right now. Schneider and Rehak are done talking. Espada with a quick word with Conroy. We'll see if anything manifests itself from this.
Toronto's replay system is currently not available. The game, however, will continue as is under current and normal replay protocols. 1 challenge each team.
So the Blue Jays having a malfunction, I would imagine, with their replay system.
Some technical difficulties, it sounds like.
But the game proceeding as normal, according to the umpires. So the Blue Jays going back a couple of years in the time machine. The Astros still get the opportunity to challenge. Don't make it a close play, I guess, is the message to the Blue Jay infielders. Make it a clear out, and then you don't have to worry about it. First pitch to Jesus Sanchez outside, ball 1. 1 out, bases empty. 2-0 Blue Jays, top of the second.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman's going to need some outs by a substantial margin. There
you
go.
Right on left is 1-0 to Sanchez. Called strike. John Schneider said before today's game he felt like it was 10 really good starts in a row for Gausman. He might have even underestimated it. I looked at the last 13 for Gausman as his recent good run. Next pitch on the inner half for a strike, 1-2. And I say recent, that's about half his year. But before his start on June 26th, Gausman had a season-worst 4.60 ERA, and he's pitched to about a 2.60 ERA in 13 starts since, allowing only 57 hits in over 80 innings.
Yeah, and I think what stands out to me, too, is when you look at a lot of those starts, you're seeing 1 or 2 earned runs in a lot of those, so he is limiting the damage.
1-2 pitch, cut on and missed, strike 3. Already 3 punch-outs in this game for Gausman with 2 outs in the top of the second.
And I know we said this before, and I'll continue to say it, the way that he's been able to get ahead of batters, too. It just continues to impress me because you think of the way that he's able to get ahead, you'd imagine that maybe he's throwing 4 or 5 different pitches in there, the way that he gets batters to have so many uncomfortable swings, but he is working that four-seam fastball in different locations, and he's got great late movement on that splitter to go along with it. Yes, we'll see a couple of those sliders, but to be able to do this consistently using 2 pitches majority of the time just continues to impress me.
First pitch strike on a fastball to Yainer Diaz, gets ahead of him 0-1. Gausman second in the American League in first pitch strikes, 4th in strike percentage overall. 0-1 in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yainer Diaz, though, has been a problem, and yesterday he helped the Astros to a win with a 9th inning home run that broke a 2-2 tie. Astros won 3-2 because he homered off Jeff Hoffman. 1-1 pitch. Bounce toward third. Barger off to his left. Stops, gloves it, throws on to first just in time to get Diaz. And end the top of the second inning. Astros put a hand up. They want to see if they'll challenge. They will not. And Gausman has retired all 6 he's faced through 2 innings. 2-0 Blue Jays, middle up.
Shohei Ohtani doesn't make any sense. A hitter that pitches. A hand steals bases. No way. A living legend who's this humble? No way. Ohtani isn't a one-way player or a two-way player. He's a no-way player.
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places and looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, basic to eat. So we say, well, let's do like a brisket, wrap, and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisket.
Sharpens performance. It's how Endy helps all Canadians rise to shine. Endy mattresses are proudly made in Canada. And right now, take $150 off for a limited time. Shop now at Endy.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Protect your waste and recycling equipment from costly repairs. With a custom maintenance plan, optimize your waste system performance and longevity with Metro Compactor Service. They've got you covered coast to coast with the largest service fleet in Canada. Their innovative iSmart technology can remotely diagnose, troubleshoot, and monitor equipment health in real time. For on-demand or proactive service, sales, rentals, and extended warranties for all your waste equipment, visit metrocompactor.com. metrocompactor.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Double play! And the Blue Jays escape the bases loaded jam.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Get Air Miles reward miles on your next home improvement buys at Timbermart. Plus, take advantage of buy now, pay later financing options with your Timbermart project card. Start your project today. For details, visit Timbermart, Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman, alongside Madison Shipman, Joe Ali, our host and producer, Derek Brandeo, and Tom Young, our technical directors. And to the tune of Pink Pony Club, David Schneider leads off the bottom of the second. 2-0 Blue Jays, and the pitch. Breaking ball from Christian Javier for strike 1. Schneider, Heineman, Jimenez in the bottom of the second. 7, 8, 9 in the Blue Jay order. 0-1. hit high, left field and deep, going back Trammell, onto the track, at the wall, it's gone, into the Blue Jay bullpen for a solo home run, Davis Schneider. 3-0 Blue Jays in the bottom of the second.
But we were talking about the offense and wanting to get it going a little bit earlier today. And how about that from Davis Schneider? The first four-seam fastball that he sees in that at-bat, it's up and inside. It's a pretty good location, especially against somebody like Schneider, but he is all over it. Comes down to being able to get your barrel up enough, on top of that pitch enough, to be able to get that backspin, get that carry out to left field. And it's another home run, his 11th on the season.
In only 68 games for Davis Schneider as well. And the first pitch to Tyler Heineman now called a strike. And even 68 games might overrepresent it because a lot of those are half games, or he comes in to pinch hit in the 8th inning. And yet he's still been very productive in that limited time. 0-1 pitch. Heineman hooks it foul. Switch hitter is batting left, and now he's in an 0-2 hole. Tyler Heineman, a .303 hitter, .824 OPS in 56 games. A Houston Astro draft pick in 2012 in the 8th round. Spent 5 years in the Astros system. .02. Fouled off the end of the bat to stay alive. Javier staring in for a long time. Steps to the left, twists and deals. And the pitch hooked foul just in front of the feet of Mark Budzinski. Still, no balls, 2 strikes.
In between pitches there, we were getting another look at that Davis Schneider home run. And the more I look at it, the more and more difficult it looks like to even be able to get barrel to that baseball with, well, where it was located up and in. And to be able to keep that one fair, too. A lot of times you might see batters pull that one foul down the left field line.
Next pitch is high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Javier kicks and offers, and Heineman hooks it foul. He's battling here. Only 1 ball in this plate appearance, and yet he's seen 6 pitches.
And he's seen a little bit of everything, too. We saw the knuckle curve, the first pitch they had bat, seen a couple of changeups, 4-seamer, and then that last one that he hooked foul was a sweeper.
Don't see a lot of the sweeper to left-handed hitters. More changeup, curve, and 4-seamer. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back to the changeup, and can't really locate it better than that. Half a ball below the zone to get the chase and the swinging strikeout.
And when you're going into swing mode, when you're in a 2-strike count, too, that's one of those pitches where it starts off looking like it's going to stay right about thigh high and then just drops off the table, 84 miles per hour down in the zone. Not much you can do on that one.
So 1 out now, and Andres Jimenez up, right on left the pitch. Down and in, ball 1. John Schneider did reveal after last night's game that he had a bit of a talk with Andres Jimenez before deciding to leave him in for that big spot in the 8th inning yesterday. 1-0 pitch. Low, ball 2. If you weren't with us yesterday, 8th inning, Blue Jays hit for a couple of left-handed batters in Barger and Loperfido because the Astros had a lefty pitcher on. But they left Andres Jimenez in, who came up with a single that put the Blue Jays on the board. They ended up tying the game in the 8th. 2-0. Swing and a miss at the change, 2-1. And Schneider had talked about that's how the feel comes into the equation. Obviously, the numbers would have supported going to maybe Davis Schneider off the bench there. But he felt like with his talk, he had connected with Jimenez, and Jimenez rewarded him with a hit, 2-1. Swing and a miss again, another change, 2-2.
And John Schneider even mentioned, too, that that's something that he tries to do with all the players out there. That way he's connecting with each one of them on an individual basis so that he can make some of those I'll call it a gut decisions, right?
Sure.
When you get into the game. And like you said, maybe the numbers don't necessarily support that decision, but it ended up working out because of that conversation that they had prior to the game.
Jimenez, slight wave of the bat above his left shoulder. 2-2. Takes it low, ball 3. And look, if this is MLB The Show 25, the guys perform the same all the time. But as Schneider had mentioned, they're human beings, and you got to get a feel for how they are feeling, because that can make a big difference.
And I feel like that's where a lot of the adjustments, even throughout the game that we talk about so much, a lot of it comes down to that feeling.
3-2 pitch, high and outside, ball 4. No one out walk for Jimenez.
Whether it's a pitcher and a catcher reading what a batter is going after in an at-bat, or reading some of their swings, or even the defense making some gut reactions, taking some chances one way or another based off of what the hitter up at the plate is doing, like little things like that end up helping the team come away with maybe some big outs or big strikes in certain situations, or in the case of Andres Jimenez, coming up with a big hit late in the ballgame.
1 out, runner on first, and the pitch to George Springer. Jimenez takes off, pitches high, ball throw to second, in time to get him. What a toss by Yainer Diaz, and the tag applied by Pena to the calf of the runner Jimenez. Altuve with the tag, rather. Either way, he is called out. We'll see if the Blue Jays want to challenge. They do not. And that'll be the second caught stealing in as many games for Yainer Diaz.
Watching that one in real time, I thought Jimenez got a pretty good jump over there off of first base, and he dives into second base, but it is a great tag applied by Jose Altuve, who's coming over to cover. A great throw by Diaz back behind the plate, and then the tag applied right on the left leg as he was diving into second base.
1-0 to Springer, grounded foul, 1-1.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking, too, all my time playing shortstop, coming over to cover, I was always taught to apply the tag right at the front of the base, trying to get the tag there, and I'm thinking maybe I should have taken a couple of steps more down to the line to be able to apply those tags on the legs of the batters or runners diving in rather than right at the base.
1-1 pitch down and away, 2-1.
In theory, it makes sense, right? Because you're cutting down the distance that the throw has to travel. It's going to travel just a split second further to get all the way to the base than it would if you're taking a couple of steps up the line. I'm almost upset I didn't think of it sooner.
2-1 pitch popped up over second base. Altuve calling for it, and he'll make the catch on the dirt. A little dancing back and forth, but he makes the play to end the second inning. Not before, though. Davis Schneider leaves the yard to lead off this frame and makes it 3-0 Blue Jays headed to the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app. And
that's Gus Judge. His owner is Aaron Judge, captain of the Yankees. His dog park is Yankee Stadium. Ooh, I'd bowl in that grass for days. Betty gets to fetch those dingers. I'm sure Aaron chases him like that around the house. Aaron's also the nicest human ever. Just not to baseballs. My human, he eats shredded cheese by the handful. I hope Gus knows just how good he's got it.
Talk to me.
This is called a Crawford dog. Hamburger bun.
Yes.
2 split top Angus beef hot dogs griddled on the skillet, on the plancha. And then we do a bacon onion jam with Crawford Bach beer.
Pick it up like a burger.
Pick it up like a burger, and you just go in, man.
Let's go to town.
Dude.
Best hot dog I've ever had. Best hot dog I've ever had. I love this, man.
This is how I grew up eating hot dogs.
Nicely for you.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays 3, Astros nothing. Top of the third inning in downtown Toronto, and Kevin Gausman looks in at Christian Walker. Right on right pitch. Hit well, right center field. Racing back Varsho toward the gap near the track. He makes the catch, stepping onto the dirt, and there's one out.
I wonder if that's what we're going to start to see a little bit more from this offense for the Astros, being a bit more aggressive early in the count, just given the way that Kevin Gausman has pretty much consistently gotten ahead 0-2, 1-2 against these batters. If we might see them start to swing a bit earlier in the count, take some chances on what he's going to throw early.
Yeah, he doesn't walk many. You're not going to get him into a hitter's count very often. Here's his pitch to Taylor Trammell. Four-seamer for strike one.
And I almost feel like he's one of those pitchers, too, where maybe some batters are wanting to get in there and get a feel for it, maybe see a couple of pitches, but by the time you do that, it's going to be too late, given the way that he's been throwing recently.
Trammell, a left-handed hitter, 27-year-old. Next pitch, fastball again for a strike at the top of the zone. It's 0-2. Trammell asks for time. A teammate of Ty Francis. They got traded together from the Padres to the Mariners. Trammell was a minor leaguer at that point with the Padres. France was already in the big leagues, but they were teammates for a handful of seasons with Seattle. 0-2. High bouncer hit to second. Running left, Jimenez picks it up, throws to first, and there are two outs. This third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Chatham and Wallaceburg. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986. So protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. 2 outs, base is empty. 3-0 Blue Jays, top of the third. And the pitch to Mauricio Dubon. Called strike.
First pitch slider there to Dubon. He's thrown a couple of those in this ball game, but that one, by my memory, was the first one that's kind of backed up on him a little bit. That one ended up being called for a strike low and in.
0-1 pitch hit on the ground. Diving stop at third. Barger pops up, slings to first, and ends the inning. Gausman has faced the minimum through 3, and the Blue Jays look to add to their lead. Already 3-0, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Lexus 5-day event.
Sometimes your calling doesn't shout. It hums. Like a lullaby floating through a warm night in San Pedro. Before he could walk, El Niño had already taken his first step toward greatness. For Fernando Tatis Jr., baseball wasn't just in the house because Papa was a pro pelotero. It hung over his cradle like a promise. Desde la cuna, El Niño ya tenía swing.
Security right there. That's the bad one, Roscoe Pico train.
Major League Baseball wanted to start doing something with the players and their dogs.
Which one's the dog?
I was undecided on whether to do a dog card or not, but my wife pushed me in the back and she wanted a famous dog, so she told me to do it.
Baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Bottom of the third, 3-0 Blue Jays with Nathan Lucas leading off. Christian Javier steps into the wind, his pitch. Down and in, ball 1. Lucas, Guerrero, Barger, scheduled hitters for the Blue Jays. Lucas probably with the best hit ball so far of the day, maybe second best to the Schneider homer. 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Lucas with an opposite field double to the warning track in the first inning.
Yeah, and he hit that one off at the four-seamer too, so you kind of figured that he was not going to see many of those in this at-bat. Javier starts him off with a breaking ball and then comes back with a changeup.
1-1 pitch, ripped foul right side, got well out in front of that change. Hit it almost 100 miles an hour. It's 1-2. Christian Javier looking to retire the leadoff hitter for the first time in an inning in this game. We're in the bottom of the third. And the 1-2. Line foul again.
We've seen a lot of those hard foul balls from the lefties down that right field line. A couple of sweepers that he's trying to work in on the hands of the lefties too, which I agree with you. Typically, up until this point, hadn't seen a ton of those sweepers against the left-handed batters.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an adjustment. Usually more curves against them. 1-2. Is a chopper hit to first on 2 bounces. Christian Walker backhands it and goes to the bag for the first out of the bottom of the third.
One of the at-bats that you and I were talking about in between innings, that a little bit of an unsung hero back in that first inning was the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ground ball to the right side. After Nathan Lucas had hit that double where he was over at second base, that ground ball to the right side advanced him over to third. And then with that play off of the bat of Addison Barger where it dropped out into right field, had Nathan Lucas still been at second base, I don't know if he scores on that, because he'd probably have to hang around second trying to see if that ball was going to be caught in the outfield.
First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. down and in ball 1. Also, the infield was in because Lucas was at third, which further complicated how they got to that ball. You're not looking for productive groundouts out of Vlad, but they're better than strikeouts,
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Yes.
Here's the 1-0. And it's line and down in right center, a base hit.
And to me, too, another point that we mentioned earlier, it's the bat path from Guerrero Jr. and where his barrel was when he made contact. The past couple of days, we've seen a lot of those hard ground balls back to the left side of the field, and watching his point after contact, too. Where are your hands moving after you make contact with that baseball? And a couple of times through the past couple of games, we've seen him making contact and the hands going up or rolling over. That's where you get that top spin. But both of the swings today, you've seen much better extension through the baseball than we've seen in the past couple of days.
First pitch to Addison Barger, a head-high fastball for ball 1. Barger had the bloop double for an RBI in the first inning. Now he hits with 1 out in the bottom of the third, and Guerrero on first. They shift him heavily. Altuve deep in the hole at second. 1-0. Barger takes it low. You also have Pena maybe about 2 steps away from the second base bag. Playing a little bit behind it, but 2 steps away in terms of east to west. And Carlos Correa, a shortstop much of his career, playing right in between second and third, despite being the third baseman. 2-0 pitch. Barger checks the swing and takes a strike. Change up middle in, and it's 2-1. Probably don't go to that spot with that pitch again if I'm Javier. Right-hander sets. 6th start of the season for him. Steps off, throws to first. Christian Javier debuted in 2020 for the Astros after they signed him for reportedly $10,000 in 2015. Rookie of the Year finalist in 2020. Big breakout 2022 campaign. 2-1. Called strike 2-2. He participated in, led 2 combined no-hitters in 2022, including one in the World Series as they defeated the Phillies that year. But Tommy John surgery in 2024 after an up-and-down 2023, and it's been a while since they've seen him at his best. Right-hander set at the belt. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pretty good changeup right there to get Barger. Second strikeout of the game for Javier in the second out of the bottom of the third.
Came back with 3 straight changeups after the one changeup missed a little bit further up in the zone. The next 2 were in really good locations, and Barger out in front on those swings. Now let's see if Ernie Clement can make an adjustment here and get a big 2-out hit.
Rochester, New York's Ernie Clement with a runner on first and 2 outs. And the pitch. Outside ball 1, and the anniversary of the tragic events of September 11th. Ernie, not from the city, but very close proximity. But I imagine Madison, a day that touches many Americans, regardless of where you're from.
Every day that this anniversary, every year this anniversary comes around, I think back to where I was when I got the news of everything that was happening that day, and hard to believe that it's been 24 years since that day, but just a day to reflect and remember and honor all of those who lost their lives that many years ago.
And again, the Toronto Fire Services did participate in the first pitch today. 1-1 count now on Clement. And Javier's pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. Guerrero on first, 2 outs, 3-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the third. And the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clement asks for time, steps out of the box. And now drops back into the righty batter's box. A tap of the plate and a half swing out to the field of play. One more half swing, and now he looks out to Javier. 2-2. Grounded left side, ranging to his left. Third baseman Correa gloves it and throws to Altuve at second to end the inning. No runs, a hit by Guerrero, 1 left on base. 3-0 Blue Jays after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local...
Folks, that right there is Decoy, the luckiest dog in the world. His owner is Shohei Ohtani, a myth of a man. A human who can do all this with a baseball is every dog's dream. 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, drool, 250-foot dingers, woof. He gets called a good boy in 2 entire countries. And I get Greg. I just hope all that fame doesn't go to his head.
Message from the Electrical Safety Authority. Learn more at esasafe.com/stop, look, live.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Verdugo for his 7th strikeout.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 4th inning, presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 3-0 Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman to Jeremy Pena. Swing and a miss. Started him off there with a splitter on the outer third. 0-1. 9 up, 9 down so far for Gausman, including a punch out of Pena back in the first. Pena, career 1 for 12, 7 strikeouts against Gausman after striking out swinging in the first. 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Struck him out on a splitter back in the first inning. Started him off with back-to-back splitters in this at-bat against Pena, who's having a really good offensive year this year for the Astros. Big jump in offensive numbers from last season.
1-1. Line and through for a base hit. First base runner of the game for the Astros is a Pena single. You mentioned the improvements for him. He was around a league average hitter his first 3 years, and with the defense, you certainly took that. But his OPS is up about 100 points On-base percentage is up about 50 points, still finding a way to hit for power and hit for a much higher average while getting on base more.
And his swing and his stance looks completely different than what we saw from him last season. Last season standing a bit more closed in his stance and his hands more upright. And when he gets into his stance this year, that front foot is open, his barrel is almost on his shoulder.
First pitch to Yordan Alvarez, hit back foul 0-1.
It's always the constant evolution of adjustments that hitters will make, not just within the year, but even over the course of their career, how things can change.
Pena is 7 times more open this year than last year. Pitch to Yordan Alvarez is lifted high in the air, shallow left. On the turf, Addison Barger, the third baseman, makes the catch. 1 out. Pena was 3 degrees open last year, 21 degrees this year. 7 times probably oversells it a little bit, but technically by the math,
yes,
he is 7 times more open this year than last year. Here's Carlos Correa with Pena still on first and 1 out. Kind of fun to watch them play together because Pena was the Carlos Correa replacement. People couldn't believe they'd let him go. And then Pena won World Series MVP in his first season taking over for Correa. First pitch. Lined right side, down for a base hit in shallow right field. Pena hits the bag at second. He'll cruise into third. Throw from right goes into second base from Nathan Lucas. And it's runners on the corners, 1 out.
Correa just continues to hit well in this series against the Blue Jays. He struck out looking on a four-seamer in his first at-bat against Kevin Gausman, and this time gets a fastball low and inside, actually gets a bit jammed up on this swing, but because he keeps his barrel back enough, he's able to drive it out to right field for a base hit, and a good jump and a good read by Pena at first base to make it first to third.
By no means a terrible pitch from Gausman.
Pretty well located.
Yeah, right on the edge of the zone on the inner half. Infield stays back. They can try and turn 2 against Altuve. The pitch. Hit high in the air, foul. First baseman Guerrero tracking back onto the side, warning track, stutter step, and he makes the grab right before the short sidewall, and then wisely tosses it into Heineman in case Pena wanted to try a risky tag from third. 2 outs in the inning, and Vladdy making a tough play right up near the retaining wall.
He always gets such a good read on those balls over in foul territory. I've talked about it before throughout this season that I want to make a highlight reel of just some of the catches that Vladdy has made in foul territory, whether it's here at the Rogers Center or even on the road. He has such a good sense for the amount of room that he has in foul territory to make those catches over his head, but also to get it back in time before Pena tried to tag up.
The over-the-shoulder play he makes look a lot easier than it is.
Yes, yeah.
Jesus Sanchez up, first and third, 2 outs in the pitch. Low ball 1. I mean, defensively, he is a very different player than his dad was, playing a completely different position. But he tracks balls pretty well in the air, and he did fire a very nice throw in game 1 of this series to get Altuve as well. So it's not like there's no crossover from senior to junior in that respect. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Big hack over the splitter, and the count's even at 1-1. Blue Jays 3, Astros nothing. Pena on third, Correa on first. Guerrero holding on Carlos Correa. And the 1-1 to Jesus Sanchez. Check swing, called strike, fastball just clipped the outside edge, 1-2. Sanchez 0 for 1. Gausman punched him out swinging on a splitter in the second. Righty is set. He kicks and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gausman gets it up to 96.5 to punch out Sanchez and strand a pair. No runs, 2 hits, and runners left on the corners for the Astros. It's 3-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
That's Gus Judge. His owner is Aaron Judge, captain of the Yankees. His dog park is Yankee Stadium. Ooh, I'd bowl in that grass for days. Bet he gets to fetch those dingers. I'm sure Aaron chases him like that around the house. Aaron's also the nicest human ever. Just not to baseballs. My human, he eats shredded cheese by the handful. I hope Gus knows just how good he's got it.
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes.
No surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Hola, soy Andrés Jiménez y estás escuchando el béisbol de los Toronto Blue Jays en la cadena de Radio Sportnet.
3-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the fourth inning after a huge strikeout by Kevin Gausman of Jesus Sanchez. A pair of Astros were stranded, and the Blue Jays maintain this 3-run lead. Dalton Varsho, David Schneider, Tyler Heineman to hit in the bottom of the fourth against Christian Javier. Up at the booth about 200 feet away, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. I might have been way off at 200 feet. I got no clue, but here's the pitch to Varsho, and it's high and outside.
You sold me
ball
on
one.
it. I'll agree with you.
I have to take out a measuring tape one day.
You know I'm not good at math, so don't have me try to math how high we up here.
1-0 pitch. Varsho drives it, right center and deep, sprinting back Dubon to the fence. It bounces off the wall. Varsho into second. He's going to try for third. Dubon's throw all the way to third offline, and Dalton Varsho has a leadoff triple to snap the 0 for 14. Reached down for the changeup, still got around it even though it was on the outer third, and that's got to be liberating for Varsho.
It's a really great swing by him, too, because you know you're facing somebody that's going to throw that four-seam fastball at the top of the zone, but that's exactly where Dalton Varsho does not want to go after early in the count. When you're in a hitter's count, you want to go after something that you can do damage on. And where can Dalton Varsho do damage? That is on pitches in the low part of the zone, especially changeups. He gets around that one, hits it hard, and then motors all the way over to third base.
First pitch to Davis Schneider, outside ball one. Runner on third base, nobody out. Infield in for the Houston Astros in the bottom of the fourth. Schneider with a solo home run in the second is 1 for 1. One-0 pitch. Low 2-0. Davis Schneider hit an elevated fastball right on the inner edge, out of the yard in the second inning. A pitch that last year I don't think you would have seen him have a chance to drive that far. Knocked it out for his 11th home run of the year. Trying to drive in Varsho here from third, the 2-0. Lifted down the left field line, curling over toward the chalk. Trammell makes the catch. Varsho tagging. He'll try to score. The throw cut off by Correa, and Dalton Varsho comes in on a sac fly. That one not driven as far, but again, a sinker elevated it in, and Schneider can lift it for the RBI.
And it seems like, too, that in that situation, right, you've got a runner over at a third base. You're looking for something in the top half of the zone so that you can hit that fly ball deep enough out into the outfield to get that sac fly. Another pitch that's not easy to get barreled to. It's a sinker up and in, and you and I were talking in between innings, too, that sinker is a pitch that Christian Javier uses, about 9% of the time total on the season. I know it's not a huge sample size, but that's not typically a pitch that he goes to all that often, but a lot of credit to the game plan for the Blue Jays in executing that game plan to almost take away that four-seam fastball at the top of the zone to where he has to go to some of his other pitches.
First pitch strike to Tyler Heineman, 0-1. Blue Jays were not hiding it. They had a machine out there before the game working specifically on hitting a rising fastball. 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I got an opportunity to stand and listen to Shai Davidi talk to David Popkins just about that. And essentially you're practicing the over-exaggeration of what you're going to see in the game. So you're setting up that machine as low as possible, and that pitch is pretty much working straight up towards those batters.
1-1 pitch, popped up. Shallow left field turf moving over there. Pena makes a two-handed catch, and there are 2 down. It was a machine low down to the turf, and these were actually rising pitches because the machine was angled up. Christian Javier's pitch does not defy gravity in a way. He is still throwing downhill, but it it fights against gravity more than other pitches, so it does not, that quote-unquote rise means it does not go down at the angle at the same rate that other pitches.
And essentially, you're trying to practice where your barrel angle needs to be as far as attack angle at that baseball to be able to make that consistent, hard contact. And that's where sometimes an adjustment for a batter, it feels like a drastic difference, even though when you look at it on film, your swing might not look all that different, but that's why you practice the over-exaggeration so that when you get into the game, you can execute.
Andres Jimenez hits it on the ground to shortstop, gloved by Pena. He throws to first, and that will end the inning. The Blue Jays add another run to their tally. Leadoff triple by Dalton Varsho, then a sac fly from Davis Schneider. No one left on base. It's 4-0 Blue Jays going to the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app.
Before he was feared on the field, Ronald Acuña Jr. was chasing wins on a different kind of field. For the Acuñas, el béisbol was a story told in fastballs and late-night rematches. Every loading screen was a part of the strategy. Smash de botones. Smash de jonrones. That's how La Bestia was born.
You know, in Boston, every now and then, you'll do those throwback days where you bring out the big baggy jerseys, and the baggier, the better. When I broke into the league, everybody was wearing really baggy pants. And then as the years go along, I started wearing these skinny, mini, tight pants that looked like they were painted on. So by the time I was with Boston, I really wanted to wear the baggier, the better. We just wanted to be flying around in the outfield there, having a good time.
Moved. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
And now everyone to their feet. The 0-2. He got him!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the fifth, 4-0 Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman back out on the hill to face Yainer Diaz to begin the inning. Right on right pitch. Fastball strike. This inning, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Home of the $4 happy hour. 20-plus fruit and drink items starting at just $4. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome. 0-1 pitch lifted out to center field. Shallow and now slicing toward right center. Dalton Varsho moves forward, sunglasses on, and catches it off to his left. 1 out. Well, let's go to that out-of-town scoreboard. Only one other game in action right now. The Tampa Bay Rays were hard charging a couple of days ago toward the wild card, but they have dropped off in the last few games, including today where they trail 5-0 to the Chicago White Sox. That game in the 6th inning. Shane Smith with 5 2/3 shutout in the start for the White Sox. Ian Seymour hit around a little bit for the Rays. 1 out, and the pitch to Christian Walker called a strike 0-1. And one final already on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Orioles played a very low-scoring, tight series with the Pirates in Baltimore this week, and they just won 3-2 to take the series in the finale. 0-1. Down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Dylan Beavers, a young player called up for the second half of the Orioles season, came up with an RBI infield single in the 7th that made it 3-2, and that was the final. 1-1 to Walker. Goes around on a pitch, trying to hold up on the splitter, down and away, but couldn't. Swinging strike makes it 1-2. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, but here in Toronto, it's 4-0 Blue Jays over the Houston Astros. Gausman set. And is 1-2. Low. Check swing by Walker. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Christian Walker moving down a little bit in the lineup today. A couple of strikeouts for him in the past couple of games. 2 strikeouts in game 1, 2 strikeouts in game 2.
2-2. Line shot, leaping catch at third by Barger on the backhand side. He takes away extra bases, 2 outs.
A couple of really nice plays that Addison Barger has made over at third base today. One of them being a diving play to his left where he got up and threw across to first base. This time he times up his jump perfectly. It's a really well-hit ball off of the bat of Christian Walker. Looked like it was going to be a double down that left field line, but Addison Barger, because he was playing so far back, was able to make that grab.
Now he'll move in with the speedy left-handed hitting Taylor Trammell up. First pitch, called a strike. Barger likely to play a little more third down this stretch with no Bo Bichette and Anthony Santander potentially making his return in a couple of weeks. Barger will likely see more time at third. 0-1 pitch, hit back foul, 0-2. In the bottom half of the inning, we'll go back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard and talk a little bit about Santander and what might be going on in Buffalo. 2 outs, space is empty. 4-0 Blue Jays, top of the 5th. Gausman with a 2-strike pitch. Hit foul, out of play left side. We welcome you to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman, Show Ali, our host and producer, Derek Brandeo, and Tom Young, our technical directors. Gausman kicks and the 0-2. Hit well center field. Varsho moving back a little bit. Backpedaling toward right center. Makes a one-handed catch and ends the inning. 1-2-3 again for Kevin Gausman, who has faced 2 above the minimum in 5 shutout frames. 4-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 5th. You're listening to...
Folks, that right there is Decoy, the luckiest dog in the world. His owner is Shohei Ohtani, a myth of a man. A human who can do all this with a baseball is every dog's dream. 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, drool, 250-foot dingers, woof. He gets called a good boy in 2 entire countries. And I get Greg. I just hope all that fame doesn't go to his head.
What is it that kind of got you hooked as a foodie, so to speak?
My dad was really into food when I was a kid. He traveled for work and he would go to places all over Europe and stuff. He was in sales and I feel like he would come home and try and cook the things he ate overseas. And so as a kid, I was exposed to a lot of like stuff that kids aren't usually exposed to. And so I credit my dad for that.
Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Roddy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back to back to back.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Blue Jays up 4-0 on the Astros. Rubber match of the series, and a longtime Houston Astro, George Springer, leads off for the Blue Jays against Christian Javier. The wind of the pitch. Ground ball, foul, 0-1. It is amazing to think after so many big seasons with the Astros, Springer, a 7-year Houston Astro, this could go down as one of his best offensive years overall. 0-1, grounded foul, 0-2. It would still be hard to imagine, as great as Springer has been this year, that he reaches the 39 homers he hit in 2019. He's at 28 right now. Could reach the 974 on base plus slugging, which is his best OPS career, but that was in an easier offensive environment. 2019, the quote-unquote juiced ball era. 0-2, foul tip, strike 3. Springer goes down there, but as he entered play today, OPS plus, which adjusts for eras and league average offense at the time, thinks that this is his best offensive year, and he's third in OPS in the majors behind only Judge and Ohtani.
Yeah, I think, too, when you just look at this season coming off of last season and just how much of a jump pretty much every single offensive number across the board for him has been, that's what really stands out to me. Of course, you can look at the consistency from him throughout his entire career, and yes, it's impressive, but to see what he's been able to do this year after having a bit of a down year last year, that's what stands out to me in the sense of, one, what he's producing out there on the field, but also really appreciate the leadership that you see from him on a regular basis over there in the dugout, constantly high-fiving guys, talking to guys, smiling all of the time. It's just been a great season so far for Springer.
0-2 count on Nathan Lucas now after a called strike and a foul off. 1 out, base is empty here in the bottom of the 5th. Lucas with a double and a ground out in this game. And he'll ask for time. Javier had taken 1 step into the wind, but now he backs off the hill. As he does that, why don't we go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. I count Buffalo as out of town. I mean, it is across the border after all. And John Schneider told us before today's game that Anthony Santander will make his rehab debut with the Buffalo Bisons tonight. Haven't seen the lineup posted by the Bisons yet, but he is supposed to DH. 0-2 in the dirt ball 1.
Yeah, we'll just keep refreshing constantly until that lineup comes out, but definitely going to be keeping an eye on what he's able to do. And even John Schneider said not so much results, but how the swing looks in particular is what they're going to be keeping an eye on.
1-2. Called, strike 3. Lucas goes down, and there are 2 outs. As we were speaking, the lineup came out, according to our wonderful producer, Show Ali.
It. Yes,
so
there we go.
He is batting second and DHing. And it's that interesting double-edged sword where John Schneider, the results matter, but the box score doesn't. This isn't like a go rehab, and as long as you feel healthy, it's fine. They want to see him look good, but that doesn't have to be a double every time. If he ropes a ball at someone, as Vladdy hits it on the ground is short, Pena comes up with it and throws over to first to end the bottom of the 5th. So why don't we pick that up a little later in the game. But Anthony Santander headed to Buffalo for rehab tonight. And the Blue Jays through 5 innings, leading the Astros 4-0 in this rubber match. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by...
Shohei Ohtani doesn't make any sense. A hitter that pitches. A hand steals bases. No way. A living legend who's this humble? No way. Ohtani isn't a one-way player or a two-way player. He's a no-way player.
$150 off for a limited time. Shop now at Endy.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Bingo! Woo-hoo! Celebrate a win for your community at a charitable bingo and gaming center. Each game you play has a real-world impact on thousands of Ontario charities facing challenges such as food insecurity, educational needs, and rehabilitation. So come choose from a wide variety of entertainment options. And remember, when you play, local charities win. See how we play. Visit charitablegaming.ca. Please play responsibly.
Charitable Gaming. Community good.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Andres Jimenez makes the catch, and the Blue Jays come back to win it.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
After only 54 pitches in this start, Kevin Gausman is out for his 6th inning of work. facing the 9-hitter Mauricio Dubon. The pitch. Fastball in there, strike one. 4-0. The Blue Jays lead as we start this 6th inning. And part of the reason Gausman has been so efficient, he's been all over the zone. 44 strikes, 11 balls and 55 pitches. That's 80% strikes. 0-1. Foul back 0-2.
I think, too, when you look at where he's locating his strikes, too, is even more important than just the strike number. The fact that he's locating that four-seam fastball, especially on the edges of the zone and even at the bottom part of the strike zone, allows him to still be able to throw that splitter and even that slider that we've seen him use quite a few times today.
0-2. Line shot foul right side. And this is a club that's given him some trouble. Houston Astros have put a 5.13 ERA on Gausman's numbers in 8 career starts for Gausman against them, including this year. He went to Houston, started off great with 4 1/3 scoreless, and then allowed 4 runs by the end of his 6 innings. It has not always been easy against the Astros. So too. Grounded back foul, still 0-2.
I always like to look at the location of the splitters because it's that fine line of throwing it too far low and out of the zone where it's staying a ball too long on its way to the batter where the batters aren't even going to swing at it. But when you're able to tunnel that pitch along with that low fastball and be able to have it located maybe a ball or two below the strike zone, that to me is when it's the most effective. And today when you look at the pitch locations, that's exactly where he's been throwing his splitter majority of the time, is either right at the bottom of the zone or maybe a ball or two right below it.
Just threw an elevated fastball, fouled back by Dubon, who's battling here to start the 6th. Four straight foul balls, and now Heineman goes out to the mound. Despite Gausman being ahead 0-2, they want to talk this one over a little bit and get on the same page. Very quick visit. Might have just went out and said, hey, what do you want to throw? Got it. And let's go back.
Well, that was something, too, that you and I had talked about, how important it is, especially for somebody like Gausman on the mound. And Alejandro Kirk did a great job of this in his last start against the Yankees, reading those swings, figuring out what they want to throw in certain situations. And Tyler Heineman taking charge there, making sure that they're both on the same page before this 2-strike pitch is thrown.
0-2. Fastball missed a fraction of an inch low at 96. I don't know if Dubon was fooled or made an incredible take. Either way, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I was going to say maybe that missed an inch low out of the zone, but an inch might be generous. I think it was less than that.
1-2, hit on the ground to short. Picked up Ernie Clement. He'll shuffle and toss to first. And there's 1 out in the inning.
Benefit of those close calls, too, or even calls that don't go your way, is all of a sudden as a batter you're thinking, I cannot let another pitch like that go by. I'm going to have to swing at that. I don't want to leave it in the home plate umpire's hands. So he throws him a splitter that's maybe just a little bit higher, but still you get him out in front, rolls over it, hits a ground ball over to Clement for out number 1.
Now back to the top of the order with the right-handed hitting Jeremy Pena. The pitch, grounded foul, 0-1. Pena lost his 20-game on-base streak, which had tied Bo Bichette for the active lead in baseball, but he lost it last night. Starts a new one with a single in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 in the game. It's 4-0 Blue Jays. We're in the top of the 6th. We'll go back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard in a sec. First, though, Gausman's 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled right back, 1-2. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, big matchup going on in the Bronx tonight. You imagine it will be watched by much of the baseball world, given the events 24 years ago on this day and the spectacle of having the game in New York City tonight. 1-2. Called strike 3. Punches out Pena on a fastball on the inside corner. 2 down. In that game in the Bronx, Tyler Holton, the lefty, starts what could be a bit of a bullpen day for the Tigers. Cam Schlittler, who the Blue Jays really got to in Schlittler's last start, goes for the Yankees. And it looks like a fairly extreme lineup change with a lefty starting for the Tigers. The Yankees have put Austin Slater right at the top of their order for this game. He's been mostly a bench guy, though he mashes lefties. That's why they brought him in. First pitch to Yordan Alvarez, slow ball 1. So it's Tigers, Yankees, 7:05 Eastern in New York. Right now the Blue Jays 3 up on the Yankees for the American League East lead. 1-0 pitch. Called strike. Evens the count against Alvarez, who's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a pop-out.
Yankees, too, looking to at least take one of those games from that series. They've lost to the Tigers now back-to-back games.
If I'm not mistaken, both in pretty convincing fashion, too.
12-2 in Game 1 and 11-1 in Game 2.
1-1. He'd foul off to the left, 1-2. You know, it just kind of seemed like they were rolling. Beat the Astros in a series, beat the Blue Jays in a series. And if they win this final game, it's not the end of the world. They are still well above 500 in their last 30-odd games if they do that, but would be a big momentum stopper to get swept. 1-2. Called strike 3. Frozen with 98 at the knees. Alvarez goes down, and Gausman is dealing through 6. 4-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 6th at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Lexus.
You have a reputation as one of the star players on the team, Leo, and have had your fair share of time in the spotlight this season. You're happiest under the shining stadium lights, but you also know that you need a break to ensure that you're in top shape for the postseason. You're still a major asset to the team, even when you're putting in work away from the field.
That's Gus Judge. His owner is Aaron Judge, captain of the Yankees. His dog park is Yankee Stadium. Ooh, I'd bowl in that grass for days. Betty gets to fetch those dingers. I'm sure Aaron chases him like that around the house. Aaron's also the nicest human ever. Just not to baseballs. My human, he eats shredded cheese by the handful. I hope Gus knows just how good he's got it.
Kevin Gosman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the 6th inning, it's 4-0 Blue Jays as Christian Javier looks into Addison Barger, and the right on left pitch. Rope down the right field line, hooking foul into the seats, takes a high ricochet and surfs its way up toward the concourse. 0-1. Third time for Addison Barger at the plate, 1 for 2 with a bloop RBI double, but he'll take it. And now the 0-1. Outside, Barger walks across the plate as he takes that sweeper. 1 ball, 1 strike. Open stance, left side. Barger awaits a 1-1. Hits it foul high in the air, left side into the seats. Just banked off the front of the second deck and down into the first deck. 1-2.
Pretty good swing on that changeup, too. That was the pitch that he struck out on in his last at-bat, and the way that he pulled that first four-seamer down the right field line, you figured at some point throughout this at-bat he was going to see one of those changeups diving down and away, and him fouling it off towards the left side tells me that he had a good angle going after that pitch.
1-2. Fouled right back. Got his bat to the sweeper, yeah.
I think he heard me. He was trying to hit it right back to our radio booth.
We had a close one yesterday, was it? Or maybe 2 nights ago?
Yeah. I think it was yesterday.
2 games were so similar. They kind of melded together.
I agree with you.
A 4-3 Blue Jays win and a 3-2 Blue Jays loss the last 2 days. Now the 1-2 pitch is outside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now, I believe it was game 1 that we had the fan make the great grab below us.
Yes,
in the radio
one-handed,
booth.
just kind of stuck it out there.
Didn't even stand up, just sitting down the entire time.
Barger with a great catch in this game, leaping at third in the 5th. 2-2. And he fouls off another. Pitches are numbered now for Christian Javier, 76 offerings in the game, and his season high is 85. But pitching into the 6th is a positive for him. Probably a little bit unlucky. I think he's been better than 4 runs allowed. Here's his 2-2. And it's fouled off out of play again.
He did go 6 innings back in August. It was the end of August against the Angels. Did not give up a hit through those 6 innings against the Angels. Had a bit of tough luck in an earlier start, too, against Baltimore, where he ended up coming down with an illness, so he had to come out of the game a little bit early, too.
2-2. Outside ball 3. And the tough luck for him in this game really is, even if you want to only count this play, Barger's double should not have been a double. It should have been an out. And more than likely it should be 3-0 right now if you just redo the inning that way rather than 4. You never know. But
well, even the first play, too, the ground ball off the bat of George Springer.
Comebacker to the hill, snared by Javier, and he'll flip to first to get Barger. Long battle by Barger, 9 pitches, but Javier gets him 1 out.
Yeah, a couple of balls that ended up not being the hardest hit balls off the bats of the Blue Jays, but ended up falling for base hits or doubles. But a lot of credit to this offense, too, for being able to take advantage in those situations, because we talked about it during the Yankees series that they had opportunities to score more runs but just couldn't come through with the timely hit, and they were able to do that early in this game.
Pitch to Ernie Clement. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The Blue Jays innings 1 through 5 in the first 2 games were combined 2 for 31. And they came up with 5 hits in the first 5 innings of this one. 4-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th. Javier's pitch to Clement. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Ernie taps home, leans back. And now a half swing as he looks out to Javier. Righty winds, 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevated the heater and got Clement, punches him out on 3 pitches, and there are 2 down.
A lot of credit to Javier in that at-bat, too, just working those pitches on the outer half of the plate to Ernie Clement. We know that Ernie's trying to go up there and pull something to the left side, and for him to be able to have that last-minute rise on the fastball and to locate it away, that's a difficult pitch for Clement to get barreled to.
Dalton Varsho up with 2 outs and the pitch. Fouled right back, and it'll go just off to our right, off of the front face of the 400 level and down back into the seats, 0-1. Dalton Varsho tripled and came around to score his last time up, his 2nd triple of the season. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Last year he was a bit of a triples machine, 7 triples for Varsho last season. And moving down out of the cleanup spot almost immediately pays off for the Blue Jays. Now the 0-2. High and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I would say maybe he doesn't have as many triples this year because all those balls are leaving the yard. It seems like every other game he's hitting a home run.
That is true. 57 games for Varsho, including this one. 18 homers, 2 triples, 10 doubles. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Varsho goes down, and Javier punches out a pair in a 1-2-3-6. He has retired the last 9 he's faced, but the Blue Jays lead the game right now, 4-0, headed to the 7th.
Meet Aaron Judge. Aaron is the captain of the New York Yankees. What a great leader. He's won MVP 2 times. He's also the most dangerous man on the planet with a bat in his hands. Aaron signs every autograph and tattoos every baseball. Aaron foots the bill. They rob you blind. Aaron's a good guy, the best. Unless you're a pitcher.
time. Can't get it, and neither could the fan.
Boy, just we don't wear flip-flops.
Caminero strikes out, and the bat gets a 7.5 on the distance. But it's stuck to the landing.
That's poked and that hits the umpire. The ball is in play, and it's a base hit for Frazier.
Roberto Ortiz did what he could to try and get out of the way, couldn't.
Your overhead door problem is our problem, and we're good at fixing problems. Repairing your overhead door, dock, or have truck restraints that require service? No problem. We also offer preventative maintenance inspections to eliminate the chaos and expense of unplanned emergencies. Bagley Overhead Doors and Docks, trusted for over 60 years. Visit BagleyOverheadDoors.com today.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Blue Jays up 3-2 on a wacky play to give Toronto the lead.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Kevin Gausman back out for the start of the 7th inning. 4-0 Blue Jays in the rubber match of this series. The pitch to Carlos Correa, and the Astro third baseman takes a heater for strike one. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Ben Schulman and Madison Shipman. Show Ali, our host and producer, and Derek Berneo and Tom Young, our technical directors. 0-1. Called strike again, 0-2. Correa with a strikeout looking and a single in this game. One of only 2 Astros to reach in the entire game so far. 0-2. Down and away. Missed there with a rare slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It almost looked like, too, Carlos Correa might have been thinking he was going to get a splitter early in the count with those first 2 fastballs that he watched go by. And I don't blame him for thinking that, especially after he got the base hit on the 4-seamer in his last at-bat, but Kevin Gausman came right back to it.
Next pitch to Correa's swing and a miss. Strike 3. Punches him out with 96. And Kevin Gausman has struck out 7, including 3 in a row.
Just seems like he's getting better and better as this game is going on, too, after he's getting a read for what the Astros are trying to do against him, and even individual batters kind of changing up the game plan as he goes 1 through 9 in the order. Even to start off the game, I felt like he was working those fastballs more in the bottom part of the zone, just got that strikeout to Correa on a 4-seamer up in the zone.
First pitch to Altuve is a splitter for a strike, 0-1.
And Altuve pretty much has seen pitches nowhere near the strike zone.
And why would you, with how aggressive
He's
he
hacking
is?
at him.
The 0-1. Jam shot, looping right side and down foul. Just wide of the chalk, 0-2. Interesting, that lands foul first base side. That's where they've gotten him out twice. It's been 2 pop-ups into foul territory on the right side, both caught by Vlad as they've gone up and into jam Altuve.
Yeah, they're not allowing him to get his hands extended on those inside pitches.
0-2. Foul tip, strike 3, goes right after him and strikes out Altuve for his 8th of the start.
And when you get into a 2-strike situation against Kevin Gausman, you're thinking you've got to be able to cover the splitter, the rare slider that he's throwing in there, but also you have to be able to catch up with the heater. And with that swing there from Altuve, that's typically a pitch that we see Altuve do damage on, but because he's trying to protect against all those other pitches, that's why he's just a fraction late on that swing.
8 strikeouts now for Gausman, 4 in a row. And his pitch to Jesus Sanchez, hit back foul, 0-1. Sanchez, who's 0 for his last 14 overall, has punched out both times Gausman has seen him in this game.
And on 2 different pitches, too. The strikeout back in the second was on the splitter, and the strikeout in the fourth was on the 4-seam.
2 outs, bases empty, and the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. It's 4-0 Blue Jays. We're in the top of the 7th. A 7th inning that's brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. One more from your vehicle. Try Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, fueling every drive with a fuel like no other. Trying to send us to the 7th inning stretch. Gausman with a 2-strike pitch. Bounce back to the mound. Gausman waits on it. Fields, shuffles, throws to first. And it's time for the 7th inning stretch at Rogers Center with the Blue Jays leading 4-0 middle of the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming.
Shohei Ohtani doesn't make any sense. A hitter that pitches and steals bases. No way. A living legend who's this humble? No way. Ohtani isn't a one-way player or a two-way player. He's a no-way player.
Can we recognize the athleticism of the elite security down there?
Unbelievable. I give a 10 down. Pretty good.
Yeah. Look at that. I mean, come on, Joe Ryan.
It's all part of the experience.
This is an experience tonight. Oh, look out. In between the legs of Jose Altuve, almost clipped his buddy in the on-deck circle.
Hey, that'll wake you up.
And Fortes is able to hang on to the foul tip.
Fortes getting a little help from the love handle there.
So without further ado,
At Andy.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Bingo! Great games, good friends, and giving back. That's what charitable gaming's all about. At a charitable bingo and gaming center, your gameplay has a real-world impact on thousands of Ontario charities supporting causes such as counseling services, youth sports programs, and healthcare. So come and enjoy a wide variety of games. And remember, when you play, local charities win. See how we play. Visit charitablegaming.ca. Please play responsibly.
Charitable gaming. Community good.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Way back, and Jimenez has done it again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We welcome you to the Timbermark broadcast booth in the bottom of the 7th inning at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Madison Shipman. Blue Jays leading the Astros 4-0. Davis Schneider a part of that. He had a solo homer in the second, and he'll lead it off against a new pitcher, right-hander Lance McCullers Jr. out of the pen, and the pitch is hit high. Left field, fairly deep, but not deep enough. Trammell in front of the warning track, deep in the corner, makes the catch. One pitch, one out for McCullers. Long-haired right-hander for Houston on in a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Kind of like Javier, but even more so. McCullers has dealt with a litany of injuries over the last couple of years. Started at times this season, now they have him in the pen. Right-hander into the wide, glove overhead in the pitch. Tyler Heineman takes a strike right down the middle. Prior to this year, you would have last seen Lance McCullers Jr. pitch in the 2022 World Series. Looper out to center field. It's trouble, but sprinting forward, it is caught by Dubon. And there are two outs.
Going back to Christian Javier, I thought for the most part he threw really well for the Astros today. I thought he gave them a good start. You really didn't see a ton of hard contact from the Blue Jays. We mentioned that a little bit of bad luck on his side with a couple of balls that ended up making their way for base hits back in the first inning. But Nathan Lucas hit that hard double. Of course, the Davis Schneider home run and the Dalton Varsho triple. Other than that, you saw him sprinkle in a couple of strikeouts in there and some weak contact throughout.
First pitch to Andres Jimenez. 2 out, space is empty, is called a strike. 0-1.
I'd definitely be, if I were part of the Astros organization or even Christian Javier, I would be very encouraged by the start that he had today.
0-1. Chopper to first, stays fair. Bounces over the back, fielded by Walker. He'll go to first and end the inning. Through 7, it's the Blue Jays 4 and the Astros nothing. 8th inning at Rogers Center coming up when we come back. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local...
Shohei Ohtani doesn't make any sense. A hitter that pitches. A hand steals bases. No way. A living legend who's this humble? No way. Ohtani isn't a one-way player or a two-way player. He's a no-way player.
Christopher Sanchez, Framber Valdez, and Garrett Crochet, but nobody has Framber Valdez and Garrett Crochet, but nobody has pitched as many 8 innings.
To a loss, and the Orioles already won today. They're actually on a bit of a mini heater. They're up to 69 and 77, 8-2 in their last 10, and 14.5 behind the Blue Jays. 2-1. On the ground up the middle, shortstop Clement charging. Gathers with 2 hands, throws a little low to first, but Vladdy scoops it up before it hit the dirt. 1 out.
In between innings, you and I were just talking about how good Kevin Gausman has been, and prior to that Yainer Diaz at bat, you have to go all the way back to the top of the 5th inning in the at-bat against Christian Walker, the last time that a batter for the Astros saw 2 balls within the account. Now, of course, he started off 2 balls to Yainer Diaz, although they were very close. The call didn't go his way, but still, that just speaks to the efficiency that we've seen from Kevin Gausman today.
He's in the 8th. He's thrown 17 balls all game. Pitch to Christian Walker is lifted out to right field, fairly deep, going back. Lucas makes the catch just in front of the track, 2 down. Let's go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We mentioned the standings. If you weren't with us earlier, the Orioles won today 3-2 over the Pirates. They are the team that comes to Toronto tomorrow. And then the Chicago White Sox right now up on the Rays 5-2. Up on the Rays 5-1. Last time we checked, the Rays didn't have a run. Junior Caminero did cash in the Rays run on an RBI groundout, but still 5-1 White Sox over the Rays, bottom 8. Out of town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. It's 4-0 in Toronto, and the pitch to Taylor Trammell, taken for a strike 0-1. Kevin Gausman has completed 8 innings a handful of times this year, already 4 times this season, including his last start. But none of those have come at home. This is already his longest home start of the year. And here's his 0-1 to Trammell. Fouled right back, 0-2. I don't want to get too far out in front of it right now, but there could be a 9th inning in store for Gausman. There's been no work in the pen, I'll tell you that.
You and I are on the same page. I keep looking at that pitch count and how he continues to keep getting ahead of these batters.
86 pitches in the start. 2 outs and the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 9 punch-outs for Gausman in 8 scoreless innings. It's 4-0 Blue Jays with the fans on their feet at Rogers Center. Blue Jays bat in the bottom of the 8th next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Down Rush Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
How do we craft tires specifically designed for Canadian weather conditions? We journey alongside them and endure the unexpected challenges the road throws at them. Winter is approaching quickly. Are you prepared? Choose Yokohama. Tailored precisely for Canadian weather, snow, ice, and cold can turn every drive into a challenge. Stay safe with the Yokohama Fall Rebate. Until November 30th, receive up to $100 back when you purchase 4 eligible Yokohama tires. Stay in control and drive with confidence. Choose Yokohama, made precisely for you.
Drywall, an essential part of many, many projects. It's important to get it right and start with quality materials. Essentials you'll always find competitively priced at Timber Mart, like CGC, a recognized giant in the drywall industry for over 100 years and leading Canadian manufacturer of gypsum drywall. Well established and reputable, building pros and contractors know CGC, and you get exactly what the best builders trust. That's as sexy as drywall gets. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Bingo! Celebrate a win for your community at a charitable bingo and gaming center. Each game you play has a real-world impact on thousands of Ontario charities facing challenges such as food insecurity, educational needs, and rehabilitation. So come choose from a wide variety of entertainment options. And remember, when you play, local charities win. See how we play. Visit charitablegaming.ca. Please play responsibly.
Charitable Gaming. Community good.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That ball is gone. 3rd home run in 4 batters.
batters for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Lance McCullers Jr. into the wind and his pitch to George Springer to start the bottom of the 8th. Misses up and in. Ball 1. Blue Jays 4, Astros nothing on the back of a heroic pitching performance in this rubber match from Kevin Gausman. The 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Alongside Madison Shipman, I'm Ben Schulman. 2-0 pitch. Downstairs, ball 3. A breath from McCullers and the 3-0. Called strike. We look quickly at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Coming up later, the Mariners host the Angels. And if this score sticks, Blue Jays up 4-0 on Houston. As the 3-1 is outside, ball 4. Springer earns a walk. If this score sticks and Seattle can beat the Angels in Seattle tonight, the division is tied in the AL West between the Astros and the Mariners, which only about a week and a half ago would have seemed a little crazy because Seattle was not playing good baseball at that point, but they've turned it around.
And looking at the end of the schedule for the Houston Astros, too, after this series, they go on to play the Braves, but then they've got one series against the Rangers, and then right after that, they've got a series against the Seattle Mariners.
Both teams hard charging at their backs as Nathan Lucas takes a pitch low, ball 1.
They also face the A's right after that, too. We know how well the A's lineup can hit, too. We saw that earlier this year.
Both the A's and the Angels, frankly, because they hit so many homers, can make games a little bit more interesting. 1-0 pitch to Lucas, line to left. Base hit. Springer up to second.
Already some really good quality at-bats here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It really went into, starting in the 5th inning, you saw some at-bats that just looked a little bit different than what we saw at the beginning part of this game, whether it was swinging outside of the zone or just not being on time with the swing. So really good for Nathan Lucas there to kind of get things back on track after that leadoff walk to Springer, because you'd love to see a couple of insurance runs put up here.
Yeah, we focus back into Rogers Center after a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. First and second, no outs, and the pitch to Vlad. Big swing and a miss. He was trying to turn 4-0 into 7-0. 0-1. I will say, I would have thought, okay, maybe you need to add a run or two just to make sure Gausman can go back out. But there isn't even someone warming up just in case. So Kevin Gausman's going to have this 9th inning. 0-1.
Quality swings against him all game long. They look like they're either waiting to try to see if he's going to throw pitches outside of the zone, getting behind 0-2, or swinging early at pitches that Gausman wants them to swing at.
0-2. Vlad lifted left center field, fairly deep, but not deep enough. Tubani is back to make the catch. Tagging from second, Springer advances to third as the throw loops into second base. So Vladdy advances the lead runner. It's runners on the corners with 1 out. A reminder that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 1 out, runners on the corners. Addison Barger up, 4-0 Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th. Infield in Houston in the pitch. Outside and high, ball 1. McCullers kicks and deals. And it's a called strike, probably a bit low. Barger with a grimace as that one was called a strike, 1-1.
I know we were talking about how the at-bats, really the third time through the order, kind of fell off a bit, at least in my opinion. But one of the at-bats that I thought was a quality at-bat was Addison Barger's at-bat back in the 6th inning.
Takes a pitch low and away now. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I just get the feeling that he's seeing the ball really well. And he ended up seeing quite a few pitches in that at-bat. He didn't end up with a hit there. He ended up hitting a ground ball back to the pitcher. But we saw him foul balls off to the right side and to the left side. And here he's found himself in a good hitter's count.
2-1 pitch in the dirt, ball 3. Next pitch, called strike. 81 at the bottom of the zone with a curve, and it's a full count. Barger taps the plate, looks out to the mound where Lance McCullers Jr. is in his second inning of relief. First and third, one down. And the 3-2. Line to right field, and down for a base hit. Springer in to score. Lucas had to wait. He'll scurry up to second. RBI single for Barger, his second RBI in the game, and it's 5-0 Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th.
That one put into play to right field much harder than the one that he had back in the first inning. He got a really good piece of this pitch. It's a breaking ball diving down and in towards his hands, but he turns on it, hits it hard out to right field. That's a pitch that's almost dropping down below the strike zone. Loses his helmet, somehow catches it as he starts running down to first base, but it's one of those in-between line drives to Jesus Sanchez out there in right field, and he does not come up with it cleanly. Now, George Springer was going to tag up and score easily, even if he does make that catch, but because he hit it so hard and got a little bit of topspin on it, too, Sanchez wasn't able to come up with it cleanly.
Barger's RBI total now up to 67 on the year after driving that one in. And just further support to the cause of Kevin Gausman looking for a complete game, perhaps even a shutout. Bottom of the 8th, one out, first and second pitch to Ernie Clement, popped up. Foul territory back behind the plate. Yainer Diaz, maskless, on the Blue Jay logo, makes the catch and stumbles over, but pops up to look off Lucas. Got a little scary for Diaz, I'd imagine, because he dropped his mask, but then he ended up angling back near it. You're supposed to ditch the mask really far from you, so it's not in the way.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to see catchers really chuck that helmet the complete opposite direction, but it looks like by the way that he was going after that foul ball that he thought it was going to end up much closer towards where that netting is back behind the plate, and he ended up having to backpedal, which nobody ever wants to be in that position, but he falls down and somehow still comes away with the catch.
First pitch to Dalton Varsho, fouled back 0-1.
Pretty impressive catch, too.
Yeah,
not everybody makes that play.
Nice adjustment for sure. Look to second by McCullers in the 0-1. Varsho lines it through the left side, base hit left field. Coming around third, Lucas. Throw from Trammell, cut off. RBI single Dalton Varsho. He's got a 2-hit day, and it's 6-0 Blue Jays in the 8th.
Some short, really nice, compact swings by Dalton Varsho. This time it's a sinker that's on the outside part of the plate, and he shoots it the other way. Really nice job of not trying to pull that ball to the right side, but instead taking what the pitcher gives you and driving it the opposite direction to bring home Nathan Lucas for another insurance run.
Pitch down to Davis Schneider with 2 outs, and it's outside ball 1. Why not keep adding on if you're the Blue Jays? Been a little bit since they had a full-fledged offensive breakout, scoring 2 yesterday, 4 the day before that, 3 in New York in the finale, and 1 in the middle game in that New York series. 1-0 pitch misses low, 2-0. Felt like the last time they really had a big offensive day was the opener of that Yankees series on September 5th. Coincidentally, the last time Kevin Gausman pitched when they won 7-1.
And to your point, too, that was really the last time where we saw a lot of consecutive quality at-bats in a row. Now, we did see at times, whether it was coming back late in the game in Game 1 or even in the 8th inning yesterday, where they were able to put together a couple of those at-bats and bring across runs, but not at the capacity that we saw in that Game 1 against Cam Schlittler.
Foul ball on the 2-0 by Schneider. Steps back in with a 2-1 count. And interestingly, Tommy Nance is up in the bullpen in left field. 2-1 pitch. Called strike, 2-2. Still expecting Kevin Gausman to come out for the 9th, but you probably have someone up in case a runner or two gets on. Just in case. Set by McCullers, look to second at Barger, and the 2-2. Low ball 3. Runners will be off on the pitch. Varsho from first, Barger from second. Full count and 2 outs. 6-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. Pitch to Davis Schneider. Grounded toward third. Backhanded Correa throws from foul territory across from first, and it's dug out by Walker to end the inning. Nice play from the corner infielders of the Astros. The Blue Jays add 2 to their lead, and coming out for the ninth, Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman. 6-0 Blue Jays. Rogers Center in a minute. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Lexus 5-day event is coming soon at Don Valley North Lexus. Enjoy up to 2% in rate reductions for as low as 0.9%. Plus get a $1,000 delivery credit on the Lexus NX 250 and RX 350 models. See DonValleyNorthLexus.com for details or visit them at 7200 Victoria Park Avenue, just north of Steeles. A proud member of Wayne's Auto Group.
TA's huge customer appreciation sale is back with special offers on appliances, barbecues, and countertop appliances. Plus, no tax on qualifying brands. Enjoy end of summer savings right now with 10% off Royal King barbecues, smokers, and grilling accessories. Royal King is a proudly Canadian company with many models made right here in Ontario. Buy Canadian and save money. Save big on clearance inventory and 4 models too. With TA's Gourmet Rewards, VIP Express delivery and installation. Why shop anywhere else? Details at TAAppliance.com.
How do we craft tires specifically designed for Canadian weather conditions? We journey alongside them and endure the unexpected challenges the road throws at them. Winter is approaching quickly. Are you prepared? Choose Yokohama. Tailored precisely for Canadian weather. Snow, ice, and cold can turn every drive into a challenge. Stay safe with the Yokohama Fall Rebate. Until November 30th, receive up to $100 back when you purchase 4 eligible Yokohama tires. Stay in control and drive with confidence. Choose Yokohama. Made precisely for you.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Marshall smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the ninth at Rogers Center. 6-0 Blue Jays over the Astros. And Kevin Gausman back out. First pitch to Mauricio Dubon. Hit hard to second. Falling over. Picked by Jimenez, who throws to first. And there's one out as Gausman is 2 outs away from the shutout.
And you can just feel it here in the Rogers Center, just the stadium erupting as Kevin Gausman runs back out to the hill for this top of the ninth inning. This one, a hard-hit ball off of the bat of Mauricio Dubon, but it's a great play by Andres Jimenez. No panic at all, makes that play, and gets out number 1 over at first base.
Only 2 hits allowed by Gausman in the game. Right-hander bouncing his lead left foot. The pitch to Jeremy Pena. In there, strike 1. This ninth inning is brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. Want more from your vehicle? Try Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. Premium gasoline, fueling every drive with a fuel like no other. Gausman's 0-1. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Long-haired right-hander had 2 complete games last season, including a shutout at Oakland. Had a complete game in this building on July 27th of last season against the Texas Rangers. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Splitter had Pena down to a knee, and it's 1-2. No shutouts yet this season for the Blue Jays as a whole. 1-2. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Technically 1 complete game, but it was a range-shortened complete game. So there are no 8 or 9 inning complete games yet for Blue Jays pitching. And Heineman will go out to the hill and talk to Kevin Gausman. When you pitch as well as Gausman, you have a couple mound visits remaining in the ninth inning, so you may as well use them, and Heineman will talk over this 2-2 with Pena.
Yeah, he's been the definition of efficiency, getting ahead of batters, even here to Jeremy Pena. He's in a 2-2 count, got ahead 1-2 before that last splitter missed out of the zone, but at that point, you're in full control out there on the mound, and that's what it's felt like really since the start of this ball game for Kevin Gausman, that he is in control of every single at-bat and every single pitch within those at-bats.
92 pitches for Gausman. Right-hander set, and the 2-2. Check swing, pitch was down and away. Peel down to first, no swings as Tom Hanahan on that splitter, full count. And we're in the 9th inning. It's the first time Gausman has been in a 3-ball count in this game. His payoff pitch, down and away, ball 4, and that will be his first walk of the outing. Issues it with 1 out.
Looked like they were just trying to stay away from Pena. He did hit a splitter for a base hit back in the 4th inning to the left side of the field, and all the splitters that Kevin Gausman threw him in that at-bat were low and away. Again, a spot where not much damage can be done, but he misses outside of the zone, and a batter reaches base safely here.
Gausman looking to regroup against Yordan Alvarez, who's 0 for 3. The pitch, fouled right back, 0-1. Guerrero talking with Gausman. He's not going to hold on Jeremy Pena. Vlad, especially with the big left-handed hitting Alvarez up, wants to play a little bit deeper and be in a more athletic position to field a ground ball. 0-1 pitch. Pena takes off, and it's popped up foul. It'll get out of play left side into the seats, 0-2. Kevin Gausman to the back of the mound, using the spikes on the back of the hill to get dirt out of his spikes. Now he licks his fingers, wipes them on the right side of his pants, flips the ball into his bare hand, grabs the brim of his cap, and stretches his arms out as he steps onto the rubber. Now set, bouncing his left foot. The right-hander looks in, and the 0-2. Fouled back again. Pena was off on the pitch once more. It's out of play, and Pena returns to first.
He's been throwing Alvarez a lot of pitches in the bottom part of the zone, whether it's that splitter diving down and away from his barrel or even the four-seamers low and away. One of the foul balls was on a four-seam up, but other than that, pretty much everything that Alvarez has seen has been low and away.
Another 0-2. On the ground, near short, backhanded Clement. His only play is first. He'll throw over to get Alvarez. Pena up to second, now 2 outs. It was just hit too soft for an inning-ending double play. Ernie chuckling, he was thinking about it. It seemed like he mouthed over to second. And the Blue Jays 1 out away here from Kevin Gausman getting the complete game.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That play, trying to turn that double play, definitely crossed his mind, but that was the smart move there, not trying to force the double play to happen, but just going ahead, throwing across, and making sure that you get the sure out over at first.
6-0 Blue Jays, 2 outs, Pena on second, top of the 9th. And 40,000 to their feet at Rogers Center with Gausman and out away from a shutout. His pitch to Carlos Correa. Line, hooking, foul into the seats, 0-1. Correa is one of only 2 Astros to reach in this entire game. He had a single in the 4th. Pena had a single in the 4th and walked this inning. Pena's on second right now. 99 pitches for Gausman. Staring at Pena, now pitch 100. On the ground at first, picked by Vladdy. He goes to the bat, and Kevin Gausman has pitched a shutout. 6-0 the Blue Jays win. It's a good day to be a Toronto Blue Jay and a great day to be Kevin Gausman, who leads them to a series win.
We came into today talking about how well Kevin Gausman has been pitching and how his last start against the Yankees was probably his best start of the year. Well, go ahead. He just topped that today with this start against the Astros. The way that he consistently held down this offense, going the full 9 innings, a shutout victory in a huge series for the Blue Jays, too. To watch him be able to step up in this moment and be pitching his best here at the end of the season is so big for the Blue Jays as they head down the stretch of the regular season.
It had been the Astros getting the jump on the Blue Jays early in previous games, but Kevin Gausman really made a statement, it felt like, in the top of the first. Punched out Jeremy Pena after getting Alvarez on a flyout, punched out Carlos Correa, and only 2 batters later, the Blue Jays had the lead on the Lucas single and George Springer double. Gausman proceeded to pitch 3 perfect innings before finally giving up a hit in the 4th. And then after 2 hits in the 4th, allowed only one more base runner in the game. He was just dominant.
I know it was early in the game, but it just felt like with the way that Kevin Gausman was pitching, once the offense got him one run of support, it felt like that was going to be enough today. Just with the way that he was in control from pitch number one today, so efficient, getting ahead early in the count. The Astros were just caught in between all game long. That was pretty much a picture-perfect start by Kevin Gausman.
Gausman on the field right now to the applause of the fans. Talking with Sportsnet's Hazel May. We are going to wait a moment and talk with the man who worked with him for this shutout. Tyler Heineman, Blue Jays catcher, is on with us right now. Tyler, it's Ben and Madison. Thanks so much for joining us. And first of all, congrats on what was a great win for you guys.
Yeah, heck yeah. Hold on one second. I need to see this. Come on. I've never seen a starting pitcher get one a freaking ice bath in a long time. It's unbelievable. Well deserved. Yeah, no, I mean, I was along for the ride, honestly. He was dialed in all night, so it was incredible.
And Tyler, when Kevin Gausman is being as efficient as he is today, in your opinion, when you're back there behind the plate, what is working so well for him and what worked well for him today?
Well, he was getting ahead of everybody, right? So, he was 0-1 on almost every single guy. I think they were trying to